Hello everybody and welcome to the screenshot. Today we're taking you back to school. We're going back to the life that you guys have forgotten about. So today we want to talk about mixed gender schools and single gender schools. And joining me today to have this conversation are two amazing young people that I adore very much. Smile and feel, I adore you.
Smiley.
We are two members of the Side Youth Network with me on the couch today, and we're going to talk about their experiences in mixed gender schools and single gender school. And
yes.
So bonke bahamba in different schools, and I want to talk about the experiences that you guys came across, and what do you think, which one do you think is the better school? And so I want a friendly debate. If you stand for that, if maybe you're thinking, oh, maybe I should have gone to the other school, it's fine too. So let you guys introduce yourselves to our audience. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and we can get into it. So I'll start with you.
Sarbonani, Magadi, and hi everyone. My name is Melogushe, born Empilo and bred Gobulawayo. So that's basically me, young and optimistic and from the city of Kings and Queens.
Greetings everyone, my name is Chiboniso Nyoni, aka Uchichi.
So welcome to the screenshot, guys. First and foremost, I want to know, are you guys happy with the schools that you went to?
Yeah.
And I want you to introduce yourself as, my name is Chiboniso. I went to this type of school and it was a same gender school. So which school did you go to, Chibonibon?
So I went to Dominican Convent, right? It was a single gender school. And
I'm saying sauce. Like,
yeah, it's got a sauce.
yes, I'm recognized.
Okay. What I can say is it was definitely safer. I felt safe, guys. Can you save me now?
So you're happy with the type of school that you went to? What about you, Melo? What are you saying? A statement that's Kulumile. What do you have to say about the safety? And also, are you happy with the school that you went to?
Okay, so Melo, I went to 3 different schools.
Okay.
In my entire secondary school. I went to Poma High, I went to Matopo High School, and then I moved on to Maranatha for A-level. So all these schools were actually mixed schools. And to be honest, I was also happy and safe.
You were safe?
Yes, I had people who could nurture me to be who I am supposed to be in the real world, technically. I had an experience firsthand at a minor level. Now I just hope I major at it and actually, make it count.
I want to ask you something, Shiboni. So, a statement like, I felt safe, right? It has to stem from somewhere. I want to know what's the reason for you choosing that statement, saying, I felt safe in a same gender school, unlike Umelo apparently was fighting for his safety.
And still alive.
Is it something that you heard or?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I have an interesting story, right? So, I had friends abahamba to mixed schools. So one story she was telling me that she dated a boy. And uboy lo, because she was good looking, uboy was bullied with, you're too young to be dating this good looking girl. I'm a senior ayimfuna. So babuya busuku bathi qoqoqo buya busuku buya phandle kapha. Bamthatha bathi ndod dwebi mota. Kotha dwebi mota ebusuku emnyameni in the sand. And I thought to myself, okay, wasayidweba wasesithi kosothiwa gada imoto uhambe. Bathe gada imoto uhambe. Khona hamba kahle kahle. This is not life.
So you're like, this is what happens in mixed schools.
This is normal. And they were laughing as if it was history. I think,
okay.
A little bit of unsafety there.
So bullying,
yeah.
What do you have to say?
I believe sometimes trauma is experienced. If we experience traumatic events, sometimes we tend to be able to adapt and deal with certain circumstances and situations. So in as much as he was bullied, but eventually with time, if he got enough of it, he would have been niggas, don't do this to me.
So you're an expert healer?
No, I'm not an expert healer. I decide to deal with the pain in a particular way. So similarly, trauma gives experience. So you weren't traumatized. You're too safe to survive in the real world.
So are you actually agreeing that in mixed gender schools, there's a lot of bullying that goes on?
No, in fact, bullying exists both sides.
Okay.
Generally, I'm sure girls, how we talk.
How do you know? You have just one story that you shared, and we also heard stories about different types of schools.
No, I know because I interact with girls. I went to a mixed gender school. You understand? That's how I know. So similarly, girls also bully girls. Boys bully boys. Sometimes those boys tend to go bully girls. and there are most definitely some girls that bully boys. But taking it into the context of girls and girls, they do stuff that can be too drastic for each. Like there was this one time, I'm not gonna mention which school it was for the sake of, but there was this one time this other girl found used.
Say it.
It's like used sanitary pads on her bed,
Okay.
the blood, all that kind of like. Imagining it for me was like, yo.
Okay, she
it's
found
deep.
those and...
Yes, but and I believe in as much as seeing that on your stuff, on your bed, those aren't your sanitary pads. Someone else's. And out of nowhere they're there. I'd like to think it's
She
too
was
much.
targeted.
Throwing a car in the sand and driving it is better.
This
And
was high
finding-
schoolers.
Exactly.
I think bullying is universal though, not
Okay.
like just different types of school. I mean, Chiponiso, I've also heard stories. I went to a mixed school, so I've also heard stories about how girls bully each other. I don't know how true it is. Like I've heard stories about girls' college and stuff, which they'll be bullying. Even not only girls, about Hamilton, Milton, or stuff like that. I always hear the stories. There's a lot of bullying.
What are they
So
doing,
maybe you
guys?
can set the record straight, or not even set the record straight. It might not have been your experience, and so you've never heard such of such a thing. You've always been like, Tina Vedo, wait, come on, be honest.
Okay. What I can say is, at my school there was law and order, right?
Okay.
But what I can say is, if you're bullied by the people you hang around with, or people who you think are your friends, right? You're not bullied by umuntu ovela ngale from that other class or whatever. You're bullied by people you interact with who maybe, I don't know, look down upon you. And when I could appear because you want to fit in, and some of the things you may tolerate, there was, guys. There was. But personally, was I bullied? I think I need to think
Not
of it.
you being bullied, but maybe you turned a blind eye when someone be like, "Shh, you know what?
You said you were safe.
It was safe."
I was
It was
safe.
safe.
I was happy,
Such a
guys.
strong,
Yes,
such
it
a
was
strong
safe.
term to say. Ukuthi,
Safe.
us in these schools was safe.
safe.
Aye.
But I get you. I get you. Sometimes like interacting in a way could not be regarded as productive because we tend to associate ourselves with things that are not positive when it comes to how society perceives it. For example, she talks about dating. Guys bullying a guy because of the dating aspect in itself.
Whoa. You wanted to talk about dating.
No,
It's fine.
Listen, like I'm moving. That was an example you gave. It was a story.
Okay.
I'm saying it's the example. But then when we lose momentum of why actually we go to school to learn and adapt and grow in itself, we tend to deflect and do other things. But similarly, that's still the process of growing. Making mistakes is how people grow. And that's simply how the circle of life is supposed to go.
Quick question. So, was it your guys' choice to go to the schools? Or did you choose for yourself, or you were like, abazali bathi, you know what? Susafunda eMpopo, Susafunda Maranatha, you're going to Dominican convent. Was it a choice?
I'm not gonna lie. They took me there screaming.
Because of school or the type of school? Just generally going to school?
Primary, I went to a mixed school, right?
Okay.
So I thought, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have so much fun in high school. And then they're like,
I'm gonna
girls
have a
only.
boyfriend.
You know, like, it's gonna be fun. They go, so okay, you're going to a girls' school only. And I thought, And then they were like, you're going to be ladies. And I was like, what does that mean? They were like, long
Ladies.
skirts. Yes, I lost it. I cried because I didn't know what that environment is going to be like. But eventually,
You ended
Yeah.
up loving it.
I love it. I
Okay.
loved it.
That's good. What about you?
To be honest, I chose every single school I went to.
Okay.
Like, it has its reasons. Firstly, in Popoma, I was going there for the sports. I heard that Popoma is the one in terms of
Chisa.
sports. It can groom you and make you an athlete for the nation. I went there, but I didn't use my sport capabilities to actually enroll into the school. I used my grade 7 report. So the class that I went to wasn't one associated with sport. It was basically academics. So I kind of like shifted and went to academics.
All right.
But
so
then-
you neglected your sporting abilities.
Yes.
Okay.
And then academics, I push. But then eventually I see that the reason why I was here at Mpopoma is basically sports, but I did not do sports. So let me find a fresh start, and then I chose Matopo. Went to Matopo. There it was basically academics. I pushed. Why? Like obviously here and there, a bit of sauce and a bit of chilling.
Is this gesture so?
It's kind of saucy,
I don't know, but it's easy to do.
Do you know that man with the picture who holds it in?
The salt.
It's the salt.
And Maranatha?
Yeah, Maranatha was like, I went after my younger brother. He was in Form 1. So I waited a bit. And then when I got my Form 4 results, I was like, let me go be with my brother for a while. And then I applied and that was it. Went there. It was nice senior year. I'm proud. Thank you,
Best years of your life.
Shout out, Maranatha. Yeah.
So I want to ask you guys now, which type of school do you think sets you up for life? Like in terms of being a social butterfly, academic-wise, if we can look into that, and, relationships. So which schools do you think is the better model? From where you are, now real world life experiences are here. Do you think your school set you up for success or for failure?
What my school did was reinforce my sense of being. That like you can achieve anything. So because the teachers would always say, you can do it, you are ladies, you can do it, everyone is a leader. Like that was always shared upon Uguti. You are a leader, you can do it. So yeah. But there was one little problem. I didn't know how to deal with boys.
Okay.
I do not know. Like as we chat right now, I couldn't have done this. I wouldn't have been able to I would have been like so quiet.
Like the lady you were told you are.
Exactly. So yeah, so there's that. But anyway, I'm wondering which is someone with more experience. So Hambe's Kola's name.
Yeah, like I believe they were taught, no, we're leaders, girls can lead and all that. We want those leaders too. But yeah, at a mixed school, we had them, in fact. We had them. So, like, we knew how to interact with those leaders because they empowered and all that. We're the same, to be honest. And we want to interact with them to gain ideas from them in as much as they might gain from us. So, it's like growing in general and knowing to interact, engage, and knowing the limits when it comes to the differences between you guys and I. Simple. Like,
no sauce.
No. No sauce.
So you think you were set up better for like the real world?
In a way.
Not only relationship-wise. I'm also talking about, connection-wise. Like, not about connections, please.
Yes,
I'm not talking connection-wise.
Yes.
I'm talking about, izinto zangempela sibili, like when you're now stepping into adulthood. Who is set up better? Or it's just an individual thing? Does it depend on the person themselves, or the school system does shape you?
It does, actually. It does. Because in Ghana University, what I noticed was that I wasn't afraid to talk to the lecturers, but then these other guys were sort of scared. And then they're like, I want to cross a corridor. I'd see them actually corner wheel the other way about this. So I thought, it's okay. What's happening? These are your friends. These are people who are supposed to help you. Guys. So that was one difference I want now.
So your confidence has always been from school has always been up, and you're able to express yourself.
Yes.
Okay, maybe that's an individual thing, though. There's some people who are also just generally shy, that are not even depending on which school they're from. Maybe we're now confident, which is a very good thing. What about you, Melo?
Like, I also believe it's an individual quality to possess confidence. But generally, what we get, Tina, from the mixed school society setup in general, it's something that is like, you're going to live in a world where this is what you see. This is the world I'm given. I have to use what I have and use the people that I have around me, interact And I actually learned a lot from the opposite gender. I learned a lot of things, too much. Like sometimes they were the ones that like pushed me, you know, like friends are like, no, let's not write the assignment. And then there was this one girl, like, yeah, she was like, Mero, no, you're not this guy. You have knowledge. You have to put it on paper. And I'm like, okay, let me put it on paper. You know, I put it on paper, and then now I'm here.
Alright.
Thanks to her.
But I think I want to share something from my own experience sometimes. You know, when she was talking about confidence, there's something that clicked in my head. You know, when you are a young girl, your hormones are kicking in. You wanna fundala bomelo laphana, you know, the cool guys, you know. Okay, you develop a little bit of a crush or a huge. Not that I'm speaking from experience, but you develop a huge crush. Right? Now, sometimes it does limit your participation, like in class. You're now shy, you know. What if I don't know? As an example, is it uncool to know these things and stuff like that? Because boys can actually distract you, I feel like. So maybe when you are in a setup, you know, you're free to competition-wise. You're not worried about being in a relationship with a popular guy. You know, is Melo looking at me today? Yeah, and I'm playing face powder or something like that. Because it can distract. Like, unfortunately, have you guys noticed, from primary school, girls are the best?
Yes.
And then something happens in high school. Like a decline of academics from girls taking number one spot in primary. And then suddenly in high school, guys are dominating. Why is that? Why is that? Because I can't put my finger on it. We can't possibly be getting dumber in high school. I don't believe somehow we're getting dumber when we get to high school. But we are dominating primary school. Why do you think that happens when we get to high school?
There's so much going on. Like, okay, you know, in girls' schools, right? My class really, it's very competitive. In my class, it was so competitive. I remember that in my class, when you got more than 6 A's, if I'm not mistaken, you got a cream blazer, right? For all levels. So in our sciences class, close to 25, maybe plus, had cream blazer. And then less than a third didn't have cream blazer. So it was that competitive. Because when you're looking in class, ukayelu lecturer, ukayelu teacher wako, even lomngani wako at the side, like there's nothing to look at the side for except maybe for food or something. And there's no, oh my God, what's John gonna think? We only saw John at socials. Clubs. Oh my God. Please, lenga taxi logo.
Cut that out. But yeah.
Anyway, I get you. But I can imagine a system like that. And blue. Everyone knows thinks you are a failure. I'm not saying there will be failures, but yeah, the competition will be hard.
But you know what happened, right? With that hard competition, maybe you got like 5 A's and you didn't get that blazer. A level, those blue blazers made sure that they passed, guys. And they made sure I'm 10 points, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 above Baba guys. Because you have to prove yourself. Eventually you're driven to do that. But yeah, anyway, it's good that we saw John only at socials.
It's good.
It's good.
I think it's good. Personally, I think boys can be a distraction. I don't know. Maybe as I'm now putting personal experiences, but I feel like it's fine.
Personally, I wouldn't bother if there wasn't a share on a Kimberly in class. Why? What's the reason? Like,
why?
Now I'm going to chill with the gents. Afterwards, we're gonna play soccer.
You know, Alishani start to every 5 minutes.
Because they were Sharons and Kimberlys.
Turn. After 2 minutes.
Exactly.
And eventually, that will mean that you won't find dishes in the sink. You understand?
Okay.
For you guys.
Okay, I understand.
You know, I am male, but now you won't find dishes in the sink.
Okay, so you're saying Guti, going to a mixed school leveled up your appearance. It made you want to be smart, clean, you know, to impress the honeys.
What do they call it? They say glow ups.
Yeah, so you had to glow up. So what
Yeah.
thing I know from the Hamilton,
Gangster patrolling the streets. they're chasing the Milton boys down.
I think we need to look up someone from a high school, an all boys high school, for their experiences.
Hopefully they're not barbaric, but it's fine.
For them.
Yeah, for
So guys, before we round up, can you tell me one core memory from your high school days? The one that has stuck to you for years. Wait, let's go in high school.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
I don't kiss and tell.
Okay. I know how old you are. Oh my God, you people forget I know you. Anyway, so tell me like your best memory, your core memory. Okay, it doesn't have to be the best. It can be something that has stuck to you throughout the years.
The core memory. What core memory do I have? Okay. I don't know. I think I'll let Melo go as I think of one.
Okay, so for me, I think I'd like to say I learned how to choose a network in terms of friends in itself. Because from Popoma, they were friends, and they were friends that were like not productive. But there was that one friend that was like, I am better than the rest. In terms of what I see, he's productive than the others. So that's one friend from Popoma. Went to Matopo, another friend. The network keeps on increasing. But increasing in versatility, because they're not the same, they're not from the same place, they don't have the same likes, and it's different. And then there was Maranatha. Maranatha was like where I realized the importance of a network in general, because without friends I wouldn't have studied, without friends I wouldn't have had actual fun at school. But just because they were there and I had people to talk to now and then, and we understood each other here and there, so it was all roses and flowers, the
You're popular.
Kind of.
Yeah, popular kind of.
Like I'd like to say I was one of those wearing a blue blazer, trying to prove themselves at the end of the term.
So let's shout out your friends, Pilar.
Yeah, shout out to my friends, but no free promos. No free promos, guys. No free promos. Pay and then we see how we can work, but for now,
if you're Melo's friend, I'm so sorry. This is not how
one love.
The network does things. Anyway, what about you?
Okay, my core memory really is it's related to a person, right? It was Mrs. Mati. She was she was a lady. Yeah, that was a lady. So like she could get people to do things without saying anything. So there was this veranda that we used to, or the balcony where we used to play around. So before classes, you're supposed to go straight to your class, not play around. So we'll be there discussing, laughing out loud, being wild, right? And then she'd go stand down on the ground floor. Look at us. No one had to say anything. No one even looked. You just felt a presence, and then everyone just dispersed. So you had people running into the class. And I remember one time we got stuck. It was like a narrow door. And then 3 of us tried to get in, and everyone had 1 foot inside. So that was like the experience. I thought that the being a lady part wasn't enforced, but it's something that you saw happening. You saw someone doing it, and you thought, okay, this is what I want to represent. This is how I want to look like, and that's what she represented for a good number of us.
So, are you a lady, Chimani?
Obvious.
Can you do the catwalk?
Thank you.
Is being a lady.
No,
I know.
It's fine. Never mind.
I'm glad you are a lady. And shout out to Miss Mate. You said Mrs. Mate.
Yes, Mrs. Mate.
Shout out to her. And is she still there? Do you know?
No, she moved to another school. I think CBC. But yeah, she's like
from girls to boys.
Fashion, everything.
On point.
Values. Yes.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you guys for coming to the screenshot and talking to me today. I'm so happy, but I'm so sad that this episode is over. Like, I wanted us to talk more and more and more and hear more about the stories that went on and share my own. I'll be trauma dumping. So
not like therapy is like venting. Trauma dump, we accept.
So to everyone at home who's watching, share with us your experiences of high school. Did you go to a same-sex school? Did you go to a different gender school? Share with us. Let us know your experiences and we can connect. So follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, and every other social media platform you can think of. We are there. So until next week, bye.